3 weeks, I'll be unhooked.
Well, yeah.
So what would
Ice cream.
the anti-inflammatory foods, just to make you an example, just so.
A few examples?
Yeah.
What's
Green,
sweet
green
though?
tea, turmeric, garlic, scallions, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, beets, spinach, kale, asparagus, cauliflower, filet ferns. We'll talk a little bit more about it, but it's really, it's really onion based. Garlic, onions, several different kinds of onions. For example, is red onions, green onions, white onions, Spanish onions, medallion onions, chipolata onions, things like that. Yeah. A variety of onions and various
Fried, not fried? Cooked?
Yeah, not fried.
Yeah, you know, an onion, for example, it doesn't matter.
You can fry it?
Well, you gotta cook it all.
Okay.
Keep that in mind. However, some ingredients, such as tomatoes, need to be cooked. And then other ingredients, mostly raw is better, actually. Right.
So you say like tomatoes, like the little cherry or grape tomatoes, should really be cooked to get this benefit?
Yeah, in order to release the lysophil that's in it. Yeah, so they may be high in lycopene, but it's not until you cook it that your body can really use it. So very important. Yeah.
So buffalo mozzarella with olive oil, fresh basil, and Celtic salt? How's that? But the buffalo mozzarella's not good anymore?
Well, yeah, it's better than the cows, but it's still estrogen, so you still got to consider that. Yeah. But again, you look at your frequency and how much you're eating too. If you do it once in a while, it's not as bad as some things that fit into our diet, like a bowl of cereal, for example, you fit into your diet every day, so it could be part of your common routine. If it's not such a common routine, it's not such as critical as some of the other items that you need to change in your life. Okay. That's all. So there's some things that in moderation is okay.
Is there a book on these recipes to follow that you'd recommend? I have 1,000 cookbooks.
CancerCuisine.com.
Boo-boo?
That's what I haven't found, and that's what I base my website
So
on.
what's
Is that
your
there are
website?
ingredients.
I'm sorry.
It's CancerCuisine.com.
Thank you, I missed it earlier.
So there are a list of these ingredients that are out there. Dr. Schreiber has a very large list, and it's about incorporating those into your life and making it convenient to use. Finding recipes that are simple to work with is really what I found when I started getting into this diet is not available. There are some recipes that are out there, I didn't want to eat them.
Yeah, I recently bought a book, Low Glycemic Index and Low Mediterranean-based diet. And I would say 50% of the recipes in there are good, and 50% are there's just too many ingredients and it's too complex. I'm not going to spend 45 minutes grating and preparing
cooking
87 different ingredients of one dish.
Agreed, yeah. Well, with my experience, and you can ask my wife, I never cooked at home. And until I got into this personal chef business, everything was commercial based and very extravagant. And recipes, I mean, I could take 4 or 5 days to prepare for a party.
Sure.
Very, very detailed. And the first thing I recognized was that people that had never cooked before, they're not on the same page.
No.
That was my career. That's what I do for a living. I spend all day doing that. The personal chef thing, I show up in the morning and I do breakfast. I come back at night. My routine is that I leave for work at 4 o'clock. I stop at the grocery store and then I go cook. And I usually serve by 6 or 6:30. So, and the only reason why I stop at the grocery store every day is because I don't like to cook leftovers. And there's just certain things that I feel because it's my job that, is I prepare things.
What about sugar-free candies?
No.
How much more simple can he get?
An hour and a half into it, so we're still trying to get sugar. I love it.
She's still trying to get at it.
We still want sugar somewhere.
I can't find anything like, because
I
if
do
I
chicken
could,
burgers and chicken burgers and different things like
yeah,
that.
because I did the morning star. I'm things that we can't do.
So let's go back and talk about these ingredients because these are some things that I think that are going to be really important to your lifestyle. We want to talk about how to go shopping and incorporate this so that you have a lifestyle out of this and a lifestyle that you adapt to that fits into what you do now and your routine. Earlier we talked about Whole Foods, right? Whole Foods is very expensive. It's also known as whole paycheck, whole wallet, right? We can agree with that.
Yes.
You can go to Whole Foods and the chances of buying something that's healthy is pretty good, because that's what they specialize in. Okay.
You just said chances that you buy that something is healthy is right. You still have to read the labels,
Sure.
because not everything
Right.
is healthy. Everything that is in the aisles, in between of the outsides, read the labels.
So we're going to talk about that too. Because personally, when I talk to a group like this, I don't promote going to Whole Foods because not everybody can afford it. And second of all, it's not on your way home from work or from wherever you're doing. It might not be in your neighborhood, right? So for me, I incorporate it into there for various reasons. For what I think is part of, if I were to do it for my own lifestyle, I'd be shopping at Smith's because that's the closest. When I go to Smith's and I do grocery shopping, there's ingredients. Smith's, for me, I found is probably one of the better ones. There's Southern Highlands and then there's 215 in Valley Verde that have health food sections in them, which have some very nice products. A lot of organics. Amy's has a organic product and that sort of thing. So those are, that may be in your neighborhood. Vaughn's, I think, is also getting into the health food thing and is really kind of evolving. Several years ago, I used to tell people, when you go to even if you know where the health food section is, go up to somebody and ask them where it is and ask them about it. Because you want the employees to understand that customers are there, they're looking for healthy food now. The more that customers demand it, the larger the section is going to be. When they see the sales go up, they're going to say, hey, there's a market now for healthy food. We need to expand our sections. So when the demand is there, the variety increases. When the volume goes up, the price starts going down. Right? So making some noise about it in the grocery store is really important. Knowing what you're buying. When you go to the health food section, there's a lot of healthy ingredients. When you go to the regular aisles, for me, if you want to buy some canned beans, if you look on the top shelf, you'll find the organic beans. And so there are, you look for the ingredients. The other thing that's important too is that if we talk about creating simple recipes, you can buy the clean ingredients yourself and make those recipes out of those clean ingredients, right? And then if you're buying conventionally and you buy those processed Pragos and all these other tomato sauces that are out there and you look at all the preservatives and everything else that's in it, those are the things you're trying to avoid. So she's right, the point about knowing what's in the label is very important. And if you know what's in the label, you can go to any store and you can make ingredients and recipes out of anything that's on the shelf that's available that you know you can consume. So understanding the glycemic index is really important. Understanding the difference between organic, all natural, and conventional when you read the labels, you're not going to be fooled. You're not going to fall into the marketing scheme of people saying that everything's all natural and natural this and natural flavorings that. If you know when it says natural flavorings on it, that those flavorings, that part of it was made in a lab and it's covered up so that you don't understand their secret ingredients in the recipes. You know that it's not really all natural, that there's something else in there. And it's those something else's that are in there that's really changing our bodies, that our bodies aren't used to, that our bodies aren't made to digest. It's great for the shelf life, it's great for the value, it's great for a lot of things, but it's not great for our bodies. And it's not great to fight cancer, to fight diabetes, to fight weight loss, and all that kind of stuff.
What about Walmart and Trader Joe's?
There's good places
Is there
there.
good places in
They're good,
Walmart?
there's good ingredients, yeah. I mean, it might be harder to find. It really is no secret that some of the certified organic things cost more. And Walmart is trying to stay at a certain price range, so that might not be the store to shop at. So you might have to look a little bit harder and try to be
And Trader Joe's is expensive.
No,
Trader Joe's is actually one of the cheaper stores in town.
Trader Joe's. And Fresh
How much it buys.
Foods.
Fresh and easy.
Fresh and easy.
Yeah, yeah. You just have to understand, read the ingredients.
even Costco's carrying organic, because I was living on the juices during chemo, the fresh organic juices
Oh, yeah.
that were not the ones that were antioxidants that fought the chemo, unfortunately, until you're over the chemo, then you can have all the antioxidants. And I got the carrots, the apples, even the kale. That was for a while. If you have to ask Costco because they put the organic sometimes in that new freezer cold section, but even they're carrying
Sure.
organic.
Everybody's going to start to carry. it's
Does
becoming-
hydroponics have a place in any of this, or, I mean, I know that's a technology from the 40s, raised in water, is that a healthy way too, do you think?
You know, it's not a destructive way, but I've always questioned the amount of nutrients that come out of the water versus out of properly maintained soil.
Oh, okay.
So I question that, but otherwise, you're not adding negative stuff to your body. You just might not be getting the amount of nutrients that you could have out of the soil.
Thank you.
I've been asked by Patty to thank you, Pete. She had to leave for a meeting, and she said, if you want to stay around, and people would like to talk to you, that's up to you. But we'd like to thank you so very much. Let's give them a round of applause.
Is that something that we might be able to find on your site?
Yes, you
Okay.
will. The site is still being programmed, it's not ready
Okay,
yet.
it's not ready.
There is
How
a.
soon?
Yeah, ask her, see, yeah, with IT.